Okay, this one's special. I sat down with my dear friend Annika, who's one of the most beautiful and badass humans I know. We talk all the time, but in this conversation, she helped me uncover parts of myself that I hadn't yet put into words. We talk horses, healing, becoming, and all the wild and quiet ways we grow. I'm so glad we carved out this time together, and I hope it stirs something in you too.
This is intimate.
Well, Annika, I'm hyped that you're back.
I'm back. I'm back.
I feel like I wasn't going to see you in Montana for like 2 more years.
Oh,
and then
I was traumatized enough. Just that school would take me away.
do we start with how you last left?
I don't know. Might be a little heavy to start with.
That's right. Okay.
We'll get into it later.
Okay.
It'll naturally come up, I'm sure.
Maybe we just start with how we met.
Yes. You want to go first? Since you have an earlier memory.
Okay, let's see. We're at the horse ranch in Wyoming and we're in the arena, or I was in the arena, I think, like picking manure and cleaning up. And then the boss walked up with you, the boss, and just introduced you. And I think I literally just shook your hand. Like that's all I remember. It's just really clear.
I don't remember much until you chose me out. You picked me out. You took me up to the lodge, and I think the boss was like, you need to get a hat. Like something. She looked at me and she was like, this girl ain't right. She's like, she's got to get a hat. So she took me up to meet Melanie.
A cowboy hat.
Yeah, but you offered to take me and you drove me up in your little Subaru, and I was like, you had your little hat on backwards and you're like full of life, and I was like, this girl's cool. And then you took me up and you made sure I had the cool hat. Like I picked one out and you were like, you can't have that hat. Like you were like, you have to get that hat. And then made sure I had the little Stampede string and everything. And I was like, this girl's so nice. Like she just took me up and like no one else cared. Like Marin was just like, get out of my sight, go get a hat. And you're like, oh, let me take you, go get a hat and make sure you're all set up for tomorrow.
Well, I didn't know how to pick a hat either when I got there.
Yeah, but I didn't know any better. And you were like the only one kind enough to take me up there and fit me with a hat. And I'm like, I remember us driving on that little like curvy part by the horses, like where we used to bring the trailers up. And I don't know, I just vividly remember being in your car. I mean, like, this girl, I gotta stick with this girl.
It's all history after that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were the guest favorites.
I think is the word. We know. We know we were the guest favorites.
Yeah, for being on like a horse guest ranch, I feel like it ended up being just as bad and better than I thought it was going to be.
Like, it was like the best experience I've ever had, but the worst.
The best
Well,
horses.
I wouldn't say it's the best experience, but pretty
dang good.
Pretty damn good for the time.
Like 70 awesome horses, the best of like red rocks and mountains and lakes and decent guests.
I wouldn't trade it for the world. I mean, we were doing pretty damn good for being on a guest ranch. Like, it could have been a lot worse. We could have been doing string rides with people. I mean, most people didn't know how to ride really well, but I feel like you could at least take them out and be decently confident that they weren't going to die, and that they could handle their own horses. Mm-hmm. And then we would trailer out, and it wasn't like, oh, you're going to take them for 1 hour on like a walk trail ride just from the barn and back.
What was it, like 400,000 acres?
Yeah, something crazy
of like
that.
leased in public.
I mean, like you rode from what, March to
November, yeah.
I mean, I know we were like assigned to do rides and stuff, but I feel like even in that time we still wouldn't have covered all of the land.
No.
Even in that amount of time.
No, like I wonder how many miles of trails there are too, of like the 20, 30 trails, or at least of the ones we were like regularly doing.
I mean, like, speaking of, I don't know if it's too early to bring up our pack trip, but
never too early.
We went on a pack trip, 3 years, 3 years later? 2, 3.
Yeah.
3 years later. Started off on a trail we knew for what, 6 miles? And then after that, almost all of the rest of it was random.
That's true. Like, so like 2 more days of random
that
riding.
Goes to show how much we didn't know.
That's true.
That land.
But like so much of it also felt familiar. Like when we came when we came up on that area where it was like, it looked like a storm had just landed all those rocks there. Like you're on a different earth. No. it looked like we were on the moon.
Oh,
Like there were just
yeah,
all
yeah,
those
yeah,
rocks
yeah.
for like as far as you could see, like the giant boulders and stuff,
Yeah,
like
that's
the size of
scary.
the table. After we came out of that and we were trying to figure out where to stay for the night, maybe also, I guess we could clue people in that we were doing a 3-day overnight, like through ride with these horses, like packed up with maybe coffee for me because I don't think you drank coffee. I think I
Protein
brought
shakes.
it. Protein shakes.
Got my protein shakes. Chef Boyardee.
Like backcountry,
Cheez-Its.
yeah, Cheez-Its and
Amy
backcountry
was more
meals.
prepared. Amy had real meals that were dehydrated and coffee, and you had probably had the med kit and had all the like normal stuff. And I'm here with like my protein shakes, my Cheez-Its. Like we're gonna rock it.
Gotta have the snacks though.
I mean, yeah, they ended up paying off.
And then we had the saddle pads, which we slept on. Like those were our beds.
That was fun.
And then the bells on the horses at night, so we knew they were still there. And then also to scare off bears,
Yeah.
twofold, which I got larger ones for this summer. Larger, louder bells.
We like called around a couple days before and like called Michael's and Walmart and everywhere. And I was like, do you guys have bells? And they're like, cowbells? And we're like, no, like bells. No one had bells.
Well, now I got cowbells.
I don't even remember where we got the bells. Not that it mattered, but it was. I remember that was like kind of a funny point. We didn't know where to get the bells.
Yeah, last minute packing.
Yeah, they're like the cute little jingle bells you put on like a necklace or something. It was like not like legit bells.
Well, you're going to sleep a lot less because I got legit cowbells
Can't wait.
to really scare off
Can't
the
wait.
bears.
Well,
So,
it's a decent trade-off.
yep. But yeah, after we came out of that like rocky moonscape area, because man, Wyoming had such variety. But after we came out there and we were kind of trying to find where to find water, because I think our personal water was running low and
We needed a water source for the horses.
for the horses.
We hadn't seen one in a long time.
Yeah, and it was cool because we were a little, not lost, but we were like definitely in unfamiliar territory then. And then
It wasn't looking good. Like it was.
No.
We went to that lake and it was storming, and we were not
before
even
then.
not even anywhere near where we wanted to be for the end of the day. Like we'd barely
Oh,
gone
yeah.
anywhere, and then that's when we went through all those rocks and those like that, like they're burned tree, like a burnt forest.
Yeah.
And we saw the wolf.
Yes.
And it was raining.
It was
a
raining,
nightmare.
hailing. Yeah, but no, the day before that too, I feel like I remember when we were like riding this meadow and coming over, and even though it was unfamiliar, there was something about the way we were riding. We just knew we were going to hit
was
water.
it, yeah.
Like following the land and how it flowed and knowing there would be water in a certain place. And there was, like right where we kept riding. And that, I thought that was a really cool feeling. It was like a feeling of coming home, even though it was
was gonna say
totally
that.
new. Yeah, and it was like, this is our
felt right.
home tonight.
Well, because we'd looked at a bunch of other places and we were like, well, it's getting dark. Like we should pick something, but nothing felt right. And then we just came across that little hill, and then we were like, oh, it's perfect. It's beautiful. And it was like big grass pasture for the horses and little stream, and like we got tucked in the trees. I feel like it was like fake.
Yeah, it was pretty
It
perfect.
was amazing.
And it's crazy because sometimes I think about like me coming from a crappy English riding background, like walk, trot, canter, and like just being in a ring and just trotting around and not even knowing like the right way to trot, and then ending up on the cattle ranch and the horse ranch, and now with you like overnight camping with the horses,
Like,
and then
on
your
our own.
background with all the things you've done.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess I don't have the craziest horse background. More
It's
so,
pretty varied.
Yeah, it is varied. I didn't really get into lessons. I was mostly doing working student stuff because my parents wouldn't pay for any riding or anything. So they were like, yeah, you got to figure it out on your own. So most of my experience was on the ground. Like I had a decent amount of riding experience, but most of my experience started like just working with horses on the ground, like tacking them up for other people, for like exercising them and stuff. Yeah, so then starting off English for sure. So then being out in the backcountry with one other girl on a Mustang, and
Oh my God.
just being out there, but like in Wyoming, and no one could really come help us if we really needed it. We didn't even have a Garmin.
No.
Like, at least we had firearms, but like that was probably about all we had to our name.
Yeah, just guns and bear spray and Cheez-Its.
Well, it worked out.
It did. What I feel like I was just going to bring up something about the Mustang, because we had brought and you might want to talk closer into the mic too.
Uh-oh.
Sorry. But we had brought this Mustang who had 90 days of training. She's just a couple years old. You'd been working with her most of the summer, but she's still so fresh. And we said, let's bring her and just tie her to a tree overnight and bring her from Montana to Wyoming and see how it goes.
So the problem is she's broke to ride for sure, and her inexperience isn't her problem, but it's like she's not friendly. She will run away from, I think Amy and we've both, how long have we spent probably cumulative trying to catch this horse in a pen? 3-4 hours, maybe more.
Maybe
we would
a half day's worth.
Budget 30 or 45 minutes into our pickup time to go get her because we would take so long to pick her up. Yeah. So this is the one we took to a different state, and we were going to keep overnight tied to a tree.
The skinny 24-year-old horse and the young Mustang. And then she only got away twice, though.
Yeah.
She only got loose in the wilderness twice.
Yeah, so we had her the second time. I was a little freaked out. I thought we were going to lose her. It was our last night, right?
Yeah.
And we were cooking dinner and we wanted her to eat. So we had her on the lunge, like a long lunge line, which was also our tie rope for the night, right?
Maybe.
And I think we had her tied up to the tree, but just on a long leash. Yeah. And she got her back leg all tangled up in there. And I thought she did pretty decent, but obviously freaked out. And it was tied and we couldn't get it untied enough. And then the snap on the lead rope broke. And then she was just completely free in Wyoming. And
this is someone else's horse too.
This is someone else's horse. We're in a different state. She's not, she's handled, but she will not come to you. She's not food motivated either. It's not like you can just shake a bag of grain and she's your best friend. She does not want anything to do with you. And I was like, this is it.
We have nothing to offer her.
I was like, I'm walking home. At least she was untacked and I was like, I have all my stuff with me, but I was like, I'm going to be walking all the way back home. But thankfully we just walked really, really slowly up to her and still brought the grain, even though she wasn't really that interested in it. And we just latched the hell onto her as soon as we could get her. Yeah, I was terrified.
Yeah, that was pretty lucky. Mm-hmm. The other thing that comes up for me from the trip is right before the descent down, when we had come full circle to more familiar territory, and we were standing with the two horses looking out just over everything. And I guess right before that, we had come across those two cowboys, which had been
fun.
Two of the only people we'd saw the whole 3 days. And it was
hailing. Early in the morning, right? Weren't we
yeah.
It was up we're maybe 7:30 or something. I mean,
yeah.
Not that early, but
it was early on Thursday and it was hailing and it was miserable riding weather.
Freezing. We were in our coats, huge coats. You were in your slicker.
Still cold.
Yeah. And we're just moseying along in this huge basin. And then they come up behind us, or they came up from the side. They came up from the side. They had a bunch of dogs. And do you remember it better? What did they say?
I don't know. They just eventually rode up near us and they said, you guys working for a ranch around here or the Forest Service?
Forest Service, yeah.
What are you doing here on a Thursday when it's hailing?
Confused why these two girls are here.
So we said, vacation. We're just riding for fun.
They looked at us like we were crazy.
And when we came out of that, after again, riding in some of our favorite areas from that year, we were just standing at the top looking out, and there was just this this deep knowing again, just like when we'd set out, knowing that we were on our own. And
it was very powerful.
Yeah.
Well, it was one, reminiscing on how much we'd been through, one, throughout the season, and then two, on that 3-day ride, which was it was amazing, don't get me wrong, but that was hard. And then it was also the end of my summer with you, which was heartbreaking. And I was like, this is our last ride together. And it was just so impactful to do that. It was such a full circle moment to do the pack ride after we'd been out there all summer, and it was like our decision where we wanted to go.
Yeah.
We brought the horses. No one was telling us what to do. We didn't have any guests with us. It was like exactly what we wanted to do. So it was like so powerful to stand up there and look at all of it. And it was just like beautiful.
Why do we want to do that?
I don't
like,
know.
Why do we have that dream? Just like take these horses out and just be out there and be alone and ride in like this disgusting weather. And we're just like the happiest.
I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. Everyone's like, why do you want to be a horse vet? And I'm like, beats me. I was born this way. I couldn't tell you. Like, I love horses. I don't know why. It's just something about them. I'm like, I can't even be like, oh, they're so powerful or whatever, or they're so beautiful, because they are. But there's just like something that I just like can't live without them.
Have you ever had a moment like working in the like veterinarian capacity where, I don't know, you felt like, do you ever have those moments of like deep appreciation?
Oh yeah, all the time. Like mostly I'm like thinking of like a lot of foals and stuff. It's like so fun to see all the foals, and they usually come in super sick.
The babies?
Yeah, the really babies. And it's usually like someone's foal that they've spent a lot of like time and effort into, like just getting the foal on the ground, and then it comes in and it's like 6 hours old and it's like on its deathbed. Like that's like amazing to get them back to life. And then obviously like just a bunch of, since I've been vet student at Davis, we see a bunch of crazy stuff because it's like a referral hospital, so it's not like your regular GP. So we see like a bunch of crazy stuff that you're like, there's no way like this is gonna make it out, and like miraculously like a lot of them end up doing great, and so it's super cool to see them come back for like rechecks and stuff, and like just be like, how the hell did that thing make it out of here? So yeah.
Dang. And then how'd you even get from like being in vet school, or no, you weren't in vet school yet. You just
hideout?
Yeah, you graduate to get to the ranch we met on.
Yeah, so I finished undergrad at Davis, and the goal from high school was to go to vet school. And I think you get like your rejection. I think I got rejected pretty early on, like in November of that year. So I knew from November that I wasn't going to go to vet school right after undergrad. And so I was like, okay, I have a gap here. And I was kind of panicking because I was like, well, I should do something like professional. Like I should go work for like a feed company, or like work as a vet tech, or do something that was like appropriate, like societally appropriate, you know? Like with a, like you have a degree.
Yeah.
You know, your parents spent all this money for you to go to college. You spent all this time getting educated. Like you should go actually use it. And then, but I was like, what have I always like wanted to do? And I was like, I've always wanted to work on a ranch. Like, who wouldn't want to work on a ranch? I mean,
well,
now that I knew. I mean, I still picked it, but I just thought that's like the coolest thing ever. And it's a summer. Like, if I get into vet school, I'll still have a couple more months to go. And I was like, you know what? This is my shot. If I want to do something I want to do, it's going to be now. I don't have kids. I'm like, I don't have to go to school. I don't have anything lined up. Like, we're going to do it. So then I applied on the Dude Ranchers Association website, and then got the job. And I was like, okay, we're doing it. Like, I knew my mom was always supportive. I knew like my parents in general. I was like, parents would be pissed. You know what I mean? Like, she was very supportive of what I like wanted to do, but you know, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, oh my God, you had to tell your whole family, like, yeah, I just went and got my degree, and now I'm going to go work on a dude ranch in Wyoming, you know? Like, but I mean, like, I would not change it for the world. I like got to live for once in my life.
Yeah, for better or worse, definitely felt alive that season.
Yeah, I felt dead a lot also, but also like completely grew another side of me, and like grew so much as a person.
I know. Yeah, we were just talking about this last time you were here, like even about like me, like how visible the difference is.
It's crazy. Like you're the same person, but you're not. Like you're, like I know it's Amy, but it like you could tell me, if I had a couple of drinks, that those were two different people, and I believe you. You know, like
Yeah. Well, just, I mean, like the way I carried myself, the way I mean, even the way I like worked with management, I feel like would be different now. And I mean, like I always, I didn't really understand like even the way I wanted to dress. Like me and Ramon, the horse trainer, like basically had the same outfit every day.
Had like your little hat on backwards.
Yeah, I really liked wearing a backwards hat back then.
You were cool, man. You're always working with those two guys in the
Yeah.
well, I don't even know what they're like, landscaping.
Yeah, because I was having like my crisis because I'd come from working on the cattle ranch the year before, where I was the mechanic and doing saw work and cutting trees and doing cattle ranching, like range riding.
Real ranching.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's all real.
Like all pretty taken.
It's all real ranching, probably, but yeah, like more like agricultural ranching, and
well, you're doing like fences and like checking for the beavers.
Yeah, like laboring, and I was trapping for beaver and doing irrigation, and that just felt like such a raw, real experience. Like I had a gun drawn on me in the forest by a stranger, thinking I was cutting trees to get on his land, when I was cutting trees for letting the water flow, and just all these things. And just really like being one with the land. Oh, I miss it so much, but I feel like we have it now. But going from that and like just really like working with my body and my soul, and then getting to the horse ranch where we were taking those people out, for like day rides, long day rides, but still, I was just having this like come to Jesus season with like, who am I? How do I want to move about this world? How do I go from doing such hard things, like having been a career firefighter before, then the cattle ranch, and then just being like a glorified tour guide on horseback. But meanwhile, I'm having this like experience of a lifetime, this awesome opportunity. And like at times I didn't always realize it as much.
I feel like we were just so restricted for our personalities. Like I feel like we're very independent and voice our opinions and like to do things our way. And it was hard for us to be under someone who I wouldn't say like controlling. Like obviously I think she did a great job managing the ranch, but it was not really I think we weren't given enough creative freedom or like enough trust. And that was like really hurtful to us because we were like, we can do so much with this land and with these horses and these guests. And it was we were kind of caged in and like, you need to do this specific ride at this specific speed. Don't do anything else. And I feel like, I know like, who knows who was in the right or wrong, but I feel like we were like, we could give these people like a way more fun experience in our opinion, at least, which we did a couple times. And got in trouble a little bit, but...
Well, we might have been the black sheep, but we did give the guests a good, safe experience.
I thought I gave some people the rides of their life. I'm not going to lie.
You sure did. We got some stories you probably won't bring up here.
For the sake of their privacy, we'll leave it alone.
Where else do you feel like you felt that alive? Like those, like the rides that were really good. For me, like the sunset rides in Wyoming. I'm just like, where else have I felt like that?
One of the first times I felt that alive, besides being on the back of a horse, like on the back of a horse going as fast as you can, that's when I feel probably the most alive in general. But the first time I was like, felt so alive was when you guys took me on the first Wrangler ride. I think it was like 2 weeks in or something. And
yes,
with Laura and Emily on Devil's Leap. And so Amy and it was just Emily and Laura.
It was the four of us.
And yes, they took me and I got to ride Josie, my own horse, who I just hauled all the way from California. And we'd only done like prissy stuff, you know, like running around an arena. And these girls were like, yeah, get on. And we just took off. I remember you guys like took off like trotting for forever. And it was like the wind was in my eyes. And I was like, I don't know, it was crazy. And you guys were just like having so much fun. And it was like freedom. Like I felt free. I was like on the back of a horse, my favorite thing ever, with 3 other girls I didn't know in Wyoming with no restrictions. Like, we were just going as fast as we wanted, and it was like raining and hailing, and we were screaming, and like the horses were freaking out, and then like Laura's like racing Coco,
Yeah.
and I was like, where has this been my whole life? Like, this is where I felt so alive, was just free on the back of a horse with a bunch of girls.
And we were in like Mars. Like
Yeah.
that whole area, it looks like nothing I'd ever seen before, with just like the miles of red rock. And
It's like endless red rock until you get to the jump off point.
yeah.
But yeah, I remember that was like one of the first times I like really felt alive. I do remember a small moment also when we were cattle driving. I think we were in Adelaide, and I think like this was deep into the season when we were both kind of like not really like mentally thrilled with like having to deal with guests and like being restricted a little bit. And I think we must have been doing cattle, because you were like, oh, you gave me like a little wink. Also, Amy and I never got assigned to the same ride because we were often like, I wouldn't say causing trouble, but we were doing our thing, and
Yeah.
our boss didn't like it. And so I remember Amy and I were on it, and then you were like, you should go like check up there, wink, wink. And I like rode this horse like as fast as I could up this hill, like, you know, that big hill up on
Yeah.
the left of Adelaide. And I just like went up to the top, and I like rode around as fast as I could up there, and like just sat at the top, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, I just like had the whole world in front of me, and I was all by myself on a damn horse. That I just like, I needed that moment so much. I don't know why that's what makes me feel alive, but that is.
Yeah, I remember that too, because I think I told you to do that, or I gave you the option. Not that I was in charge to give you the
No,
option.
but you were like,
go do this.
you gave the suggestion.
Yeah, because like that's what I wanted too, and I'm like, it's like I like
should have let you go.
No, but like I know, yeah, I know that that's what we both need.
We needed it.
Yeah,
Just to be free. Like, I felt like we were, I don't know how to describe it. It's like we were in the perfect country, and we had everything available to us, but we were like just restricted.
yeah. We had a learner's permit.
Which was, it's like almost like hard to be restricted because there's so much freedom that's there. It was like, that was probably what really killed us inside, was that it was like the most beautiful country in the world, and we had all the resources we needed to explore it, and we weren't really allowed to. But yeah, stuff like that, and a bunch of moments over the summer, but at least like on the ranch, those two, I was like, this is it. Like, oh, and then the sunset on that one ride on Five Fingers, and those videos we took are just like,
Yeah.
I can't even believe that occurred.
I really like, yeah, I can't believe it. Like, I go back to that all the time. Like, it was just the way the sun was hitting the mountains, and everything was blue and orange and purple and green at once, and just
It was stunning.
I could live in that moment.
Like, I would be happy if I died then. Not really, but like, yeah. It was amazing. It was so beautiful. And we had like it was like another thing where we were like uncovering more stuff that we hadn't seen. Because we'd done the Five Finger, like we'd done this one ride a million times, you know, with guests. And you do the same ride every time. But we were like, oh, I've always like wondered what's behind that rock. Or like, what's on top of there, you know? And we've never either had time or didn't have enough of like advanced riders that would feel comfortable bringing them over there. And so it was just like one of those things we were unlocking of being restricted. We were like, we can do whatever we want and go wherever we want. And it was so rewarding.
Maybe there's like that power of curiosity,
Yeah, I think
Of,
we
like,
have that.
being able to be free and just, yeah, say what's over here, like what happens if.
Like, I love the freedom and
Yeah.
like the power to be able to choose what you want to do or not. And you can do that on the back of a horse. Like, I'm not going to be walking around up there. That doesn't feel powerful for me. It feels
Hiking makes no
powerful to
sense for
be
me
on the
anymore.
back of a horse and have them take me. We can like go wherever you want,
Something about the partnership too.
for sure.
Yeah, like you won't find me putting on hiking shoes anymore.
No, people have suggested that they go hiking with me, And I'm like, can I bring the horse? And they're like, huh?
There's something
kidding.
about it.
I'm not kidding. I don't want to walk on the ground. It's not even that I'm not even being lazy. Like, I feel like we're not. Like,
No.
we're very fit and, like, we could hike whatever we needed to if we needed to. But that's, like, not the point. It's, like...
It's just a different experience.
Yeah. Even if it's a simple trail, it's just... I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
What else do we have on the list?
That's the list. But we're going to find some more stories tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow?
Yeah.
Are we doing this again tomorrow?
No, we're going to ride tomorrow.
Oh. Well, should we keep talking?
Much better. No, we can wrap this up.
Well, I'm sure we have other stuff to talk about.
I mean, yeah, you have unlimited material these days. And...
Well, we didn't talk anything about summer besides our last ride.
That's true. It was really cool when you went through all of our rides, all of our pictures, and all of like the trails we tracked, and left that journal or written that journal about all the trails, who we rode,
how many miles, yeah, what day, the trail head, name.
We didn't tally it up though. I'd be curious to see how many miles we rode. Yeah,
and I'm sure there's more.
And I wonder how many miles, I don't know, like each horse did, and how that might have been different from a past season. Because we were exercising those horses for the hunter who wanted to take them on pack trips once hunting season came. And
I'm sure Shelby got a lot of miles.
Yes, the Mustang got a lot of miles.
Cody too.
Yeah,
this big Appaloosa draft. He was kind of the rock of the herd. He was awesome.
He is a rock who is afraid of rocks.
He is afraid of rocks.
He looks like a big one.
He does look like a big rock.
What do you feel like you're being drawn to this season, though?
Like this upcoming season?
Yeah, and just not even this summer, in this season of life.
I feel like I'm starting my life over, but I feel like I've gotten snippets of starting my life here, but I can't get there because I'm stuck in vet school. And it's kind of like this anticipation where you're like, it's coming, and I'm so excited for it. I'm also a little scared because I'm like, well, I've been waiting for this for obviously my whole life to feel normal and feel free and have this amount of riding and horses and this lifestyle available to me and people of similar interests around me. And so it's a little scary that I'm like, wow, I could move my whole life here and it couldn't be that, but nothing else has even come close to what I just feel so normal here. I don't feel not normal, but I feel like I belong here in my head. There's just been nowhere else here that's had the community and the resources and the horses and the lifestyle, and everyone is kind of on the same page. I feel like, for context, I grew up in San Diego as a surfer, which is quite the different lifestyle. And I didn't really notice anything felt wrong until high school, and I was like, there's just I knew something was wrong. I wasn't happy. I kind of got into horses, which was really fun, but I was just something's off. I just didn't know what it was. And then through college, it kind of got a little worse. It felt better to be more independent, and I had my own horse, and I can kind of choose what I wanted to do. And the more I got into the ag community and the horse community, going to a rodeo or a sale or something once a year or something, or going to a FFA show. I didn't even know what that was. The more I got into that, the more I was like, wow, I feel this is cool. This is what I like. I feel normal here. Everyone's kind of similar minded, and it kind of felt like I was just still stuck in this college town that wasn't really horsey. And then just going to different horse experiences more and more, I was like, these are my kind of people. So that's why I was really drawn to going to work on a dude ranch, because I was I'm really into this Western thing, love horses. I'm really interested in cows. I have no experience with cows. I'm just really interested in this Western life. So that was a really good test to see if I liked it or can hang with it. And then that's how I ended up here in Montana, because it's like a similar idea. But yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I just feel like it's not like a sadness that I wasted, but it's almost like, I'm like, damn it, I wish I could have been like raised here or had more time here to know. But like, I'm grateful at the same time. Like, okay, I finally found it. I can't believe this thing has been here the whole time. But yeah, so I'm here now, and I feel way more alive and feel normal here.
I was just thinking, I don't know if I feel like I wish I was here sooner. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like, because I mean, yeah, I grew up in Massachusetts, and that felt very disjointed too. Like, I don't remember feeling like I don't belong here.
In Montana or in Massachusetts?
In Massachusetts. Definitely, I tried a lot of like different like phases and like cliques and like groups of people and activities when I was there, like really trying to find
your thing.
Yeah. And I didn't really until college when I found the fire department.
Yeah.
And my mom found that for me actually, because she suggested it.
Mama Amy.
Mama Amy is great. Yeah, and she lit that spark of like of showing like, here's this college as a student-run fire department. Look, like the D next to people's names means they're a driver. They drive the fire trucks.
So cool.
And I don't know, maybe I should ask her how it actually happened, but I remember her showing me that and thinking, hell yeah, I could go drive fire trucks. That's what I could do. And yeah, I didn't even have an interest in like a college major at the time. But
that's so important though. Like, you need something that ignites that spark in you where you're like, yeah I want to do that. Yeah. That's cool.
Getting curious. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So you didn't feel like when you go back to Massachusetts, do you feel like you still can belong there? Okay. Or do you feel weird now?
I was just talking about this recently with someone. Last summer was the first summer that I went back, and I felt like, not that I belonged, but I felt totally at peace with being there.
Okay.
Because in previous summers, and I think like, not to be dramatic, but like also when I was a firefighter, which I was for 10 years, part volunteer and part career, I got a little too dramatic about it, I think, sometimes, because I would go home to Massachusetts and go to the beach with my family for like for our family vacation. And sometimes I would just feel so not at peace with being at peace.
While you're being a firefighter.
Like because I was like, I want to go back. I can't wait to get back. I need to go on jobs. I need to like cool calls. Like, I don't know, I guess I was like craving all that adrenaline and also the opportunity to do like a really needed thing. But anyway, and then when I moved out west too, I felt really not cool with being at home. Where I grew up, because it just felt so not me anymore. And I think it led to some like conflicts with my family when I was home. You know, like I'd be short. I wouldn't I wouldn't be my best self.
I understand.
Yeah. And then last year when I went back for the summer, or for a week in the summer, it was after I'd moved here to Montana, after I'd gone through like some big life transitions and unraveling, and was really finding myself again, like getting out of a relationship that wasn't serving me, getting into a new place, getting into a new like season of work, and like a better alignment with the work I was doing.
Dance community.
Yeah, and dancing. Yeah, like really getting into swing dancing and finding myself there through that. So there's just this like reckoning that happened last spring. And I really came alive again and came home to myself. And so when I went back to Massachusetts that summer, I felt totally at peace for like amazing. The first time. And like I think this just really clear knowing, and like I've gone into the world, I've discovered myself in all these different places and things and roles. And now I know.
You know who you are.
I know who I am, and I know what feels most right.
That's amazing.
So I'm excited. I'm really excited to go back again.
Yay.
And bring my boyfriend back with me and show him that and just be so at peace with where I've come
That's
from,
incredible.
who I am.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. Hope to get there. But the light's at the end of the tunnel. Didn't know it was possible. But I feel like that says so much about you.
Well, it's just that, again, yeah, discovering in the world over time. Took took 31 years.
I mean, it takes a while. I still got a couple more years left, apparently. I feel like once I move out here for real, maybe it'll change me a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like you're in the messy middle in
Yeah.
in that becoming still.
Yeah, I love that you said like you would be short with your family because I'm like I kind of feel in San Diego and then also where I go to school in Davis in California. I feel like I can be myself for sure around my family and my close friends, but in general, I feel like I wish you guys could know who I am out here because I'm like a completely different human. I know I'm the same person, but have way more to give, and I'm like, there's so many friends I've made out here, and I'm like, I'm not sure if it's because we all align on the same thing and we have the same interests, or it's just because I'm more sociable and like feel happier and feel like I could connect more with people out here. So I'm like in California, I'm like, damn, like I always feel bad giving them, especially when I come back from Montana. I'm like sad. I'm like, sorry, I'm not going to be doing well for like a week or two. Don't talk to me.
But you feel like you have more to give here?
Mm-hmm. Like
because you're more you, or?
Yeah, I feel like I'm more open to more opportunities with people and talking with people and being more generous. And I feel like in California, I'm pretty closed off. And like, I know I'm generous deep down and like really do get a lot from giving to others. But in California, I don't know if it's just because I literally don't feel like myself there, or I feel like there's also a culture there of like, it's like pretty competitive, like, you know, housing and costs and everything. I feel like in general, California is like a competitive social network, I guess. But I don't feel like as willing to give to people in California as I do here, where I'm like, there's a community here, and like I want to even give to the community here, even though I'm only here like a couple weeks out of the year, versus in California, I'm like kind of closed off to everything else.
Yeah, I guess I felt something like that. Like I keep using the phrase "Montana cracked me wide open," because it did. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, maybe it was just the time of my life when I came here. But either way, I guess I feel that too.
I feel like you could come at a different time in your life and it would probably do something similar though. You know, like it just has that effect.
Maybe.
I mean, you also needed to be open to it, of course. But it came at a great time. Mm-hmm. I mean, I at least benefited from it. I was here summer before without Amy, and it was great, obviously, but it was pretty miserable without her. And then once I had her back for the second summer, oh my God, the way we tore this town up and all the mountains and went dancing every night. We had the best time of our lives.
I was tired.
I ran Amy ragged. I was really tired also, but it was worth every hour of sleep that we lost. It was so worth it.
Yeah, like I remember I was like getting up early before riding to like get a couple hours of like client work or running my business. Then we'd get the horses and you'd be driving and I'd be in the passenger seat like posting to Instagram or like following up on like project prep and different in between things. And then we'd get back and we'd be like filthy from riding all day, shower quickly.
Mm-hmm. Put a pizza in the oven.
We
never had time to cook.
And then
maybe once a week.
Go dancing all night
until midnight. And then come back and then wake up at 6 a.m. again every night. And go to concert rodeos. Yeah. We were busy.
For like 3 straight months.
It was the best 3 months of my life.
It was like, I feel like I never really did college that much because I was on the fire department at the time. And so I just always wanted to like not be drinking so I could go on calls and do that kind of thing. So I feel like maybe that was like a quasi college experience of like running yourself ragged to like have the experience you wanted to have.
Oh, we had a good summer.
Yeah. And I feel like it just, at least for me, it like teed me all up to be more of who I am, like in all my roles. Yeah, by like letting ourselves live like that.
Yeah.
While we had the opportunity.
I mean, we did a good job. Like, we could have just sat around and done nothing, but we explored multiple parts of ourselves, like with the dancing in the community, and that was super fun for us. And then like going out with all your friends and everything. Like, we just had a bunch of like real life experiences instead of just sitting on the couch at home on your phone.
Yeah.
Like the phone was never to be seen, besides taking a bunch of pictures.
Took a lot of pictures.
Took a lot of pictures.
What do you think dancing did for you last year?
It gave me a lot of confidence and opened my eyes to how, I don't even know what community is. I've experienced community, you know, obviously before, but nothing, I know it's not that kind of like church community or anything like that, but it was so fun to see people like on a regular basis and catch up, even though it was superficial, like, hey, how's the dog, you know, or like we saw some guys in town or whatever, like, oh, hey, we saw you guys at the sandwich shop, you know, like even that was just like, it was fun to have like genuine connection with people. And then, but it was just like in a lighthearted, fun manner. And just like even the act of dancing is just like fun to go out with all the music, and it's just something to do. It's such a mood lifting experience. Great networking, everything. It was just like no complaints.
And then meanwhile, like I'm finding out who I want to be as a woman through dance. So I guess we all have our different experiences.
I mean, I think I grew as a person from dancing, not as much probably as you did, but I thought it was great. How did you feel like you grew from dancing?
Well, just I had come out of such a dark season before coming here, and like I'd had that accident that left me with a brain injury when I was in Wyoming. I'd been in a relationship that wasn't serving me. I'd been in a tiny apartment that was keeping me small, and just in a really small town.
Restricted.
It's just so restricted in so many ways, and situations I'd put myself in for the most part. And life was also it was really restricted, and it was very unsafe. And I had to be a certain type of person. I had to be a lot harder. I had to be a lot...
Put your walls up.
Put my walls up. Yeah, I had to be like the protector, the advocate, just so many things to be in the life that I was living. And...
It's exhausting.
It was exhausting. And I'd come up to Bozeman just for like a random, like work from coffee shops for a couple days, just get away out of town. And I went dancing one night randomly because I saw it posted in the motel, the cute little motel here that I was staying at. And I remember calling you that night and just being like, it is all over.
Like there was so much light in your voice. Like we like talked a bunch like from the hideout to then, but it wasn't like we kept in touch, but we weren't super, it wasn't like, oh, every week, you know, or like I wouldn't text you a bunch. It would be like, oh, random stuff. But I feel like then you called me that night, and then since then it's just been like,
you're right.
Like we talk
oh my God
all the time. You just like completely lit up.
I didn't even realize that until you said that, of how absent I was from our friendship.
I mean, it was from both of our ends, but when you called and I think it wasn't that you were like on purpose trying to be absent or I was on purpose trying to be absent. It was just, obviously I wasn't in a great spot being in vet school. Like what do I have to share? And then once you had something like light to share, I remember like you called me a couple times during that week or month or whatever. And I was like, I've never heard so much like positivity and light and like beamingness, if that's a word, from you. I was like, Amy's back. Like, this is Amy.
Well, I was just so protected for so long.
Well, you had to be.
Yeah, I was in that survival mode, and
You were getting pummeled with stones for like 2 years.
yeah, it was rough. And dancing, just being led and being able to like clear your mind and just being just releasing into like, I trust this person, to like even just the small thing of like keep me safe from bumping into others, to let me express myself, to just move the way my body wants to move, and just like, yeah, the sensory experience of all that, of the music, of partnering someone, of just like flowing through life for like a couple minutes at each song. Yeah, dancing just brought me home to myself too. And then it was so fun to get to share that with you while you were here too.
Yeah, I was very excited because of what had to be like 2 months since you first discovered it.
Yeah.
And I was definitely nervous because it's not really like, I feel like I did not put walls up like you did, but like I said, I'm not really myself in California, so I'm not usually interested in new opportunities. So I was definitely like, oh, I'm like too cool to dance, like I'm gonna dance, like, even when I go back to California, like, what do you do? And I'm like, I dance. And they're like, you dance? Like, what a weirdo, And I'm like, no, that's like the coolest thing ever. It's so fun. But I'm like so glad that you introduced me to that, because that's like another amazing component of being here.
Yeah. Top 3 for sure.
Oh yeah, that's like part of one of the best parts about being here. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's really cool. Also, like, I mean, from what I've heard, it's new. Like there wasn't as much of a, I hate to say it, but like, yeah, dance community and just people showing up in this way. So it's really cool that we got to experience it now when it's in full swing.
Good one.
Great. But yeah, and hopefully we get to do a lot of it this week.
We'll see. I don't know about. Amy and I will dance a lot.
Hell yeah. I can't believe how much you just showed me of me too in this conversation. Like we talk all the time, but
all the time.
I realized a lot as we were just sitting here, and that's really cool.
Yeah, well, it sounds creepy, but I've been watching you and like obviously seeing you evolve over the last, I guess, year now. I've known you for 4 years now, 3 years, 3 or 4 years, but I've known you from 2 different life points or 3 different, I guess, like hideout, post hideout, and then I don't know if I should say it, the name, the ranch.
Oh, yeah.
and then moving to Bozeman, but it's like been amazing to see you like grow and transform through all those. And I feel like this is like the best season you've ever had and will continue to have.
Yeah. Man, I can't wait for yours too.
I'm almost there.
You're almost there. But this week, let's just find
13
some
months.
We're not counting.
I'm not counting.
Let's find some good dancing and horses this week.
Let's do it. Is that the end?
That's the end?
That's the end.
The Stories That Form Us is a production of Unbridled Form, a brand strategy and design studio devoted to helping entrepreneurs and creatives tell the story that only they can tell. Through story-led branding, artistic design, and websites that feel like coming home, we help you uncover what's already true and build from there. To learn more, visit unbridledform.com and follow along at Unbridled Form. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.